welcome back to Mustard Seed Ministries. Today's video is all about suicidal thoughts. Yes, I have had suicidal thoughts, and yes, I have overcame them. Now, it was a little bit hard for me to overcome them because I didn't have a lot of support um, to really know why I was feeling the way I was feeling and dealing with the things that I was dealing with at the time. I didn't really know how to process them. And as of right now, I can say that I have been learning some very good techniques, and I just wanted to share them with you all. So, I want to first give the verses that we're going to be reading from. We're going to be reading from the book of Psalms, and both verses are in the book of Psalms. First verse is Psalms 42, verse 5, and it reads, "Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted in me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance." And the next verse that we are going to read from is Psalms chapter 88, and that's going to be verses 15 through 18. Verse 15 starts as, "I am afflicted and ready to die from my youth up. While I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted." Verse 16, "Thy fierce wrath goeth over me. Thy terrors have cut me off." Verse 17, "They came round about me daily like water. They compass me about together. Lover," verse 18, "lover and friend hast thou put far from me, and mine acquaintance into darkness." Now, going back to chapter 42, verse 5, it says what? It says, "Why art thou disquieted in me?" Oh, it's saying, why is my soul cast down? Why do I feel this way? And that's an important thing to think about when you're feeling depressed and suicidal. It is it is something that we're not really taught when we're going through it, or even when they're trying to do like suicide prevention. They're telling you to be grounded, find a safe place to be, call someone. But the first thing we must look at our soul. We have to find out why all of a sudden it's shrunk. And for those of us that did find out, if we're able to identify it really quickly, we need to start acting on what it is we need to change about it that causes us to go into that state of suicide ideation. A lot of times I would for me it would always be something about working a job. I would struggle with, somebody doing something wrong to someone, or I would just simply struggle being the person that's readily available and always there to help, always eager to help. And it was causing me, you know, suicidal ideation. And on top of that, I would start drinking a lot. I didn't know what could have been more of the issue, whether it was the job I had or it was the fact that I was drinking more than I needed to, you know, make those thoughts go away and kind of shut my brain down for a little while. And it further goes to say in verse 5 in chapter 42, "For I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance." See, God knows that we need his help. Jesus knows that we need his help. He knows our soul will feel cast down. With all the things that go on in this world, there's just no way that we're not going to have that happen. You're going to have days where you feel really down. It's normal. Even when somebody tries to tell you that you shouldn't feel that way, it's okay. Because I've had that happen to me. One day, my dad, I guess he was, he finally decided that he was going to give me some shoes because he saw that my shoes didn't look up to his standards. So he got me some more shoes. And after we had got the shoes, I really didn't look any kind of, I didn't have joy about getting the shoes. And he was just kind of like, why do you look so sad? Why do you not look happy? And, he just kind of, he didn't say anything else. He just kind of left it at that. But at the time, I didn't realize that I was really struggling with my grieving process of losing my mom. And I didn't know how to explain that to him because he didn't really give me the opportunity to explain, nor did he make me feel like I could explain to him. And so I spent a lot of time with my soul just cast down into the mire. I would go to school and come home and go to sleep. Um, but the suicide ideation became more apparent the older I got. The more I had to deal with things on my own and not have, others to help me and not have my word with me. Because now that I have my word with me, I'm able to rest in it, knowing that whatever it is that I'm going through, it too shall pass. It's only going to be there for a little while, and that there's someone out there dealing with something similar to what I'm dealing with, and we're holding on as much as we can. A lot of times I always used to think that there was nobody out there that would understand me. I would always think there's no one out there that knows just how bad thinking about killing yourself all the time feels. No, there's nobody out there that knows that. And God is there the whole time you're thinking about that, and he's just like, it's okay. What you're going through is definitely something that what just happened is definitely something I understand that would make you feel that way. Jesus understands. God understands. So you have to ask him for help. Sometimes he'll send someone to come talk to you. Sometimes he'll just talk to you directly. And sometimes he'll let you go to the hospital, like he let me go. Because there was a time where I decided that, yeah, I'm going to quit this job. So I quit the job because I was pouring myself into this job and I wasn't making a lot of money. And I was working at the VA actually. And, I was just like, you're drinking a lot. And it's become a daily thing. I think you might want to check and see what's going on, to really figure out what's the problem here. So before I quit my job, I stopped drinking. And once I stopped drinking, I ended up continuing to work, but I stopped drinking and I started noticing things about my job that I didn't like. I started noticing just how much of my energy and time I was putting into the job, and I realized, yo, you're doing a lot here. So the process to be hired on permanently has come. Why haven't they hired you on permanently? I asked the manager, and she said, oh, yeah, sometimes if they don't give you a call, they may call me. But really, she really never wanted me to be hired on permanently. And I just quit. And I had stopped drinking. Probably about 2 weeks later, I had started feeling about real suicidal thoughts, because I was just like, Lord, yet again, I've quit another job. I'm doing everything I can to have this job, and it's just, nothing is working. I'm quitting jobs left and right because of suicide or being treated unfairly, and I'm tired of this. And I was crying, and I finally decided to just call the hospital or whatever, and they were supposed to do a welfare check, but they ended up making me go to the hospital. That's what I can't stand them police, because if I said I just need a welfare check, why are you taking me to the hospital? Because they want to be able to do something. They ain't got nothing better to do. They like looking at you be sad, and that's all that is. Because they could have easily talked with me, but they didn't want to. Those That's the thing about them allowing police to do welfare checks. I'm like, does this person even know how to talk to somebody who's dealing with suicide or dealing with not feeling well mentally? Do they know how to deal with that? Some are better than others, and I recognize that because I had also did that again where I didn't go into work one day last year, and I told my managers why, and they had a police officer call me, but he was a lot better with handling the situation than the times past that I've dealt with having to have a welfare check in regards to suicide ideation. And I know that that made a lot of a difference because a lot of times people don't be listening to me, and then I'm just like, well, I guess I should just do whatever I feel like I should do, even if it hurts myself, because hey, nobody's listening, nobody's caring. God truly does care. Jesus cares. That's the reason why Jesus died on the cross. He said, I care more about what you're about to have to go through. I care about the fact that you're about to go through some really tough stuff, but I want to die for you so that way, you know, you can come to me about it, and I already tell you your sin is forgiven. The burden that you're going through, I got you. Give it to me. I died for all of this. I went through all of this for you. And that's how, you know, we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to deal with our suicide ideation. This is how we're supposed to deal with our fleshly desires, by coming to our word and saying, Jesus, Yeshua, I need help with this. And we know that I believe it's Psalm 60. It says that the help of man is vain. They've created all these little suicide prevention programs, and it's people still killing themselves. So what do you mean to tell me that it's helping? It's helping some people. Sure enough, it's helping some people. But there are some people that are really needing more. And that more comes from recognizing that your soul is cast down within you. And who made your soul? God made your soul. And Jesus died for your soul to be saved. That's what that was about. And you have to remember that so that way you can call on him. If you don't remember that, you won't be able to call on him. And let me tell you, I used to I used to think that I remembered that I could call on Jesus about anything. No, I didn't remember that. I would always run away and start crying about something else and acting as though I couldn't call on him because I had made mistakes. I kept trying to tell myself, oh, well, God don't want you no more because you've sinned, you did this. God doesn't want you no more because he saved you once and you already messed up. He don't want you no more. No, that is not true. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is the enemy trying to get in between you and you being able to fight your suicide ideation. Jesus helps you fight that by you coming to him and telling him, hey, I feel like killing myself. And then you go in your word and you just start reading it. And you start telling him everything that's making you feel that way. And it lifts that burden off of you. And it goes straight to Jesus. In Psalms chapter 88 verse 15, it starts off saying what? I am afflicted and ready to die from my youth up. We are afflicted as children because they say, children are, they born wicked. We born breaking stuff. We born, just doing the most. We born just how they say the little terrible twos is just like, wow, why is she hanging from this toy like this, about to break it and fall in the process? How is these children finding this, and that, and the third, and they're only 2 or 3? And you're just like, Lord, help me. We are afflicted from our youth up. And when we're afflicted like that, we're distracted from finding God. The rest of the verse goes to say, while I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. The terrors that they're speaking about are basically things that happen to you in life. The test that you go through to be able to glorify God in what it is that you have persevered through. I know it may seem like, why would God have me go through this? Because Jesus went through worse. You can't sit up there and say, I can do this through Jesus, but not accept that he's gone through a lot of things to be able to handle what it is that you're bringing to him. You have to accept that Jesus died for you and all your sins and the things that you will go through, because he already went through it for you. It may not be the same exact thing, but the whole purpose of him dying was for him to go through the things that you go through and to save you in the process. In verse 16, it next goes, thy fierce wrath goeth over me, thy terrors have cut me off. The things that you go through, it feels like somebody's just chastising you, even though they shouldn't be. But it's still okay. It'll cause you to make you feel like, well, if I'm going through all this, I might as well not be alive. Like it'll cause you to make you feel like that. But you don't need to feel like that. You need to remember, I can call on him for this. I can call on him for this. Verse 17 says, they came round about me daily like water. They compassed me about together. Verse 18, lover and friend hast thou put far from me, and mine acquaintance into darkness. A lot of times when you're going through suicide and all of that stuff, where do people be at? Where do people be at? Where do there are some, the Lord has blessed some people to not run away and hide from you when you are going through these things. But I tell you, I have not experienced that yet. I'm going to be honest. I have not experienced people coming to me in my lowest points of my life, in my weakest points of my life. I'm always going to the person saying, hey, I'm at a weak point in my life. I'm at a low point in my life. Can you help me? And a lot of times they would help me at arm's length. Like, you know how when you see somebody helping you, but they're trying to keep distance between you and them? And for a long time, I used to be kind of upset about that, but now I just kind of be like, if somebody feels more comfortable helping me at arm's length, that's okay. Even though I know I need what I need to truly recover, I have to respect their boundary of only being able to help so much. And that, that comes with a lot of accepting the fact that everybody that I want to help me is not going to help me. Just like you wanting everybody to help you, the certain people you want to help you, they're not going to always want to help you. In fact, sometimes God will not allow those people to help you. For a long time, I used to be upset with the fact that I couldn't get any help from my relatives until he separated me from them. He isolated me from them and started showing me things about them. I had so many dreams about them. And even to this day, I still have dreams about them. They're not that great. But the general consensus is, this is not the family that I have for you that will help you get through this life. They raised you up, true enough, but they are not going to be in this chapter, in this part of your life. And for a long time, I could not accept that. I could not accept that they were not going to be a part of my life. I would try to call them, hang around them, and they never wanted to call me or hang around me. And I just used to be so sad about it. But now I have recognized and I have come to peace and terms with it. I said, Lord, because what if something that they go through is something that I can deal with, but they don't like the fact that I'm there? What if they're really wanting somebody else there? See, sometimes we'll keep people in our circle, in our path, whether it be family or friends or lovers, and it'd just be like, well, it seems like they're helping me enough where I don't want to, leave them alone. Or you'll be like me, and I was just like, well, I'm here because I know I can help them. They appreciate the help that I have, when in reality they really don't. Um, they only there because you think they appreciate it, not them actually saying, I appreciate you being here. I'm glad you're here. I'm every time they see you, they're able to really be like, hey, I'm so glad she's here. Thank goodness I have her. If you don't experience any of that when you're helping someone, I'm here to tell you that person is not for you. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've never heard it myself. I've never heard somebody say to me, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that, you're making it. I'm glad that I have you on my side while I go through X, Y, and Z. I've never had that before. And the times when people used to be, appreciative of something that I've done, I could see it, but it wasn't a full appreciation. There wasn't a real bond in what it was that I was doing to help them. So it was more of like a surface level type of help that I was helping them with. But what I was dealing with could nobody help me with. I struggled so much that people would just kind of go away from me. Everyone went away from me when I was dealing with suicide ideation. I would be alone in my room. I would be alone. Nobody would be by me. But that was because I needed to learn to stop calling on man and start calling on Jesus. I had to learn that he's the one that's going to set me free from this. Not myself, not me sitting there thinking, oh, yes, it'll pass. Because, yes, I did sit there and just be like, I acknowledge that I feel this way. I acknowledge that I don't know why I feel this way, because sometimes I would not know why. I acknowledge that this feeling has to be present for a time. And I also acknowledge that it will go away. But what else I also failed to do was read my word. Give myself a chance to be able to rest in being taught something that I should have already known. Giving myself a chance to rest in something that I had already been taught, so that way, if it ever happens again, I know what to do. A lot of times we're taught something in regards to like grounding or meditation or things like that when it comes to suicide ideation, and people don't really recognize that your soul has to be able to deal with it first. And if you don't come to Jesus and let him know, hey, I need help with my soul, can you help me? I acknowledge that you are Lord and Savior. Can you help me with this problem? And at that very moment when you say that, he comes in. That last time I called the police, I knew that things were going to be different for me in regards to my suicide ideation. Because that just happened last year in October. And, I'm just grateful to the Lord that the path that I had been usually taking, I did not take last year. I saw real growth because I wasn't fully in my Bible, but I was reading my word every day. And I started crying out to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I know that you can handle this better than I can. I need you to take this from me. And if you can't take it from me, give me the strength and endurance to persevere through it. Because he didn't say nothing about you got to run through this race quick, fast, and in a hurry. He said, he that endureth to the end shall receive his reward. And I want you guys to receive your reward too. You deserve that crown of life that God has given you. He said, whoever shall be persecuted in this life will be persecuted for my name's sake. He said it. That you want to hear it be said? That's John chapter 15. He said it. You are going to be persecuted. There's no way around it. Children of God, there's no way around it. It's just how you deal with it and how you come to God about it will determine your release from it, and it will determine your freedom from it. Y'all be blessed.